conversation would one have with a tree? Well, I'll tell you, because I have had one, and I've had many actually, and many deep ones. But now, since I haven't really meditated, I'm looking at this tree right here in front of me, and I'm thinking to myself, here it is right there. Awesome tree. Birdhouse is in it. It's got life going on around it. You know, there's snow on the ground. I love snow. There's stuff going on, life going on around us. And that tree, it's so, like, if I can communicate with trees when I get on their frequency. I really can. You know, it's actually very easy, and you just have to believe in it. And it reacts to you in a way that you would not believe. There's a true way for it to react that you could imagine, but there's real things going on that you wouldn't understand. So, well, you will understand. You could understand, so that you don't understand yet. Let's put it that way. But when I look at a tree, I think to myself, you know, me and you can communicate, so can you do something for me? If I give you an apple, will you give me an apple next year on one of your leaves or one of your branches? And I'm thinking to myself, well, I can't expect that of a tree. And maybe if I really believed that it would. But it would know more about what I believe about it than I would, because that's how everything in nature operates. And not everything's that are more wild and more in tune and more sensitive. There's things that make sense that we're not going to go into. But I look at the tree and I think to myself, yeah, well, that's a lot really funny for me to say. You know, I can just go get an apple and put it on the ground and be like, here, give me one back, you know. And that's really easy for me to say. So sorry, tree, I'm not trying to offend you. And then I think to myself, like, I really do want to know everything there is to know about you. You guys really are fascinating. And then I think to myself, you know, the tree would be like, sure, you just made fun of me. And I'm like, well, I didn't mean to. I'm not being sarcastic, even though I seem to be. There's so much more to a tree than we know. And it's doing so much right now in its own way. But each tree is doing that, so we don't think no big deal. But each person is doing something, and unless you know them, you think no big deal. So everything around you is worthy of that love and attention. And when you start giving it, they give it back. Everything does. Everything. There's not one thing that you can't interact with that won't give you something back if you really show love towards it. Anything. Even a mud puddle becomes fascinating if you look at it with open eyes and attention and love. Like, I'm not trying to be weird, but loving a mud puddle, yeah, that makes me sound really smart, but it's better than loving fashion or loving the idea of being better than something else. Like, go back to nature and enjoy what we still have, because I'm doing that right now. I'm using a camera to talk about nature because it's part of nature, and it's a part that we took from it and don't appreciate it anymore. So we need to start appreciating it so that we can all have harmony. Everything that's here doesn't have to go. It either has to be destroyed or remade into something else, or we have to improve it. And we can do that by us doing it. Instead of saying, well, these people do that and these people do that, so what? We do it. Talk to a tree for a half hour and you'll see. Talk to a hat. Talk to anything you want to. A cat. Maybe make it your dog. Look at your dog and just pay attention to nothing but your dog for a half hour and see how wonderful life is. Look at a leaf for 20 minutes. Look at a bird and just watch birds fly. Watch water on a pond. You'll see what I mean. Unless you're that disconnected, and it's not an insult. It's just I hope for you that you can find a way to get connected again, because you're part of that. Even after this one little life that you have right now that you think is so important, that you're making a big deal out of your personality and your problems and your serious things. Yeah, we all hurt, but you get over the hurt, because you learn you're more than that. You're learning from this. No matter what it is, no matter how hard it is, no matter how painful it is, believe me, I fucking know pain. I'm not lying. Anyway, see, that's me getting personal. I can be in control. You stop it. You don't let it get control of you. There's so much stuff going on in people's lives that you don't realize that your mind is that strong. If you want it to be. And you're like, I have to smoke. I have to have my coffee. I have to whatever. I was a person who thought that I couldn't stop smoking, or thought that I had to have a cup of coffee in the morning. And for a while, if I didn't have it, I felt weird. I don't have my caffeine. I'm getting a headache. I don't have headaches anymore. And when I get a headache, I just go like this, and it's gone. I know that sounds really weird, but if you teach anyone how to do it, all you have to do is believe in yourself enough, and you're able to do anything. Anything. So, peace.